Hello, welcome to Rewrite Your Reality with Reese. I am your host. And today I'm going to talk about manifesting a specific person because quite a few people have reached out and asked about that in various different ways, in various different things that are happening. So I'm just going to go through it again in a more succinct way, right? You're not manifesting a person. There's no specific person, specific objective person out there, right? You are performing a scene by being an identity, right? You're performing in a script. You being the identity in that script, right? I can't physically act out a scene I am not in, but that doesn't mean the scene doesn't exist. Now, when I say this, what I mean is that if your specific person is ignoring you, or you're blocked, or something like that, you can't act as if they are married to you in this moment, in the three-dimensional world. But what can you do? You can go along with the script. Oh, okay, this is one version of reality. I'm choosing a character that knows I am all versions of reality, including the one where we were together. I'm going to act as that. I'm going to be the person that simply is reality, simply has this thing that I desire. No matter what's going on, it's unfolding as that. That's how I'm going to act. So they block me. Cool. We're still together in another version of reality. That is my choice. That's who I'm going to be right now. So let it go. Don't hold on to it. You can't keep messaging them. You can't keep emailing them, trying to make your end scene now. It's a different scene. You can't make your end scene now. You can only be the character right now. Because it's the same thing when you're watching a movie. If there's an action scene at some point down the line and there's a relaxed scene where you are in, you can't pull out a gun just because you feel like being in an action movie when the part of the movie you're in has no action in it, right? You can't be ordering drinks at a bar if you are driving a car in the movie. It doesn't make sense, right? You have to act the way the props are given to you in the moment, right? It doesn't mean the other scenes don't exist. It just means you are being that character, and what pops up is part of being that character. So why is nothing happening then, right? You have affirmed, you have visualized, you have begged the sky, you have emailed again and again, you've gotten silence again and again, and you're exhausted again and again. And here's the real deal. You are trying to force a scene into existence that you're not yet experiencing, right? You are not being the actor in the scene. You are trying to direct the show from being the actor in the crowd itself. It doesn't work. Like I said, if you are in a car scene, you cannot be ordering drinks at the bar, right? It's going to fall onto deaf ears. It's not going to work. Even if the bartender is in the car with you, it doesn't make sense, right? That's how this works. Your end scene is not right now. You don't force the end scene into being just by saying the dialogue to them, right? That's what somebody reached out and said this to me, where you're supposed to be saying what I am affirming. You can't force them like a parrot to be the scene you want it to be just because you want it to be that. What you have imagined exists. Right? The version of them that I said, I love you, that version of them does actually love you. But you can't force any other version of them to be this one because you're negating that one. The one that doesn't love you as an experience. All of them love you, even the ones that blocked you. It's all coming from love. It's all coming from God. It's all coming from source. So even the version of them that blocked you just simply exists, right? So the version of them that you are chasing in the three-dimensional world, it's just a prop in this current act. It's just a prop. It's like a pin. It doesn't matter, right? The version is not the one that's with you. Like I said, the bartender in the car can't give you a drink if you're not in the bar scene, right? Stop trying to make the car scene the bar scene. The version you desire, they exist, but they are in another scene. They are in another version of reality. You are on track to that unfolding because you say so, because you are reality itself, because you have imagined it, because you are now moving in the assumption that this is reality, and it just exists. There's nothing you have to do about it. Reality isn't going to suddenly be something else, right? Your job is to just match that scene with that energy, with being that identity. That's about it. But here's the thing. If you are being a certain identity that isn't in the scene you want, reality isn't going to reflect that either. It's perfectly reflecting who you are being, which is not the identity you choose to be, experiencing reality as you would not like it to be. So you kind of, even if it may look exactly the same, it's not felt exactly the same. If it's not felt exactly the same, it can't actually be exactly the same either. I know it's kind of weird, where it's like, would I still be sitting here if I was assuming something different? It wouldn't matter. That's the thing. The 3D circumstances would not matter where you were sitting, but you would be sitting there quite differently. You'd be feeling differently. You'd be assuming things differently. You'd be thinking differently. You'd be experiencing reality differently. You wouldn't be saying all of those things. You wouldn't have been emailing them endlessly, hearing I don't want to talk to you back. So in that sense, you wouldn't be experiencing that. It doesn't make it not exist. It's something that does exist, but it doesn't come into your awareness in that way. So it's not outlandishly different, but it's completely different because it is different, right? Any small change in reality is complete change in reality, right? If something is not 100% exactly the same, it's different. That's how reality works, right? Remember, you can't act out the final scene while you are still in the middle of the script, right? That moment is what it is. But how you experience that moment is what it is, right? You can not hold on to that moment. You can be whatever it is that you be in that moment, but consciously know, no matter what's going on in this scene, it's unfolding perfectly. I'm not going to recreate this scene over and over again. See, what I really mean is this. If you have an identity that I am who I say I am, right? That I am the version that I desire to be. And I'll give you this example. And you're emailing this person who's ignoring you. You're not going to push play on this movie, this part of the scene where the person gets ignored. And if you really were the person in that movie unfolding to the end where you know they're going to be together because it's a romantic movie, you don't pause the movie, rewind it, and watch them getting blocked again and again and again and again and again. That's what you're technically doing in reality when you don't shift to this knowing I am awareness, shift to this knowing I have everything, shift to this knowing I'm not holding on to that moment, shift into this moment of not forcing that blocked email or blocked message be your ending, right? You effectively replaying it over and over and over again, right? It's not you instead of going forward as the identity who is just in that relationship regardless of what you see, right? The director isn't you, not your physical self, right? You are the actor acting it out, but you've chosen who this identity actor is by being the author, by being the director, by being the producer when you are imagining as that awareness that you already are. Yet, as awareness, you realize you are actually always I am. You are actually always in every state of being. You are actually always source and awareness and the self. Right? You are all of it. Whatever word you want to attribute to those things, you are that, right? The props in reality, like pens, your specific person, emails, friends, silence, loud noise, crowds of this, and alone time, right? They are just here to support the script and in that moment be whatever it is for you to be that identity from that identity, right? The script only moves when you show up as the identity it's written for. Otherwise, you replay another identity and experience that version of that script over and over and over and over and over, right? I am not is also a character. This is another version where you're saying something else, right? Every time you say he doesn't respond, it's not working, I'm not there yet. Every time you get another email saying I don't want to speak to you or you are ignored, you are being that character, replaying that over and over and over by keep on emailing them and knowing they are going to not respond to you and wonder why your affirmation didn't work. It's like, but I affirmed. You should say I love me. Let me try again. It doesn't work. That's quite maddening, right? You are not failing. You're just playing a character that is currently pushing against reality. And reality is going to push back because that's what you're doing, right? In order to push something, it's not going to break down. It might, but I mean, it's going to push you back generally. And I am not yet are still identities, still scenes, still same actors, same source playing different versions of those actors, right? The loop will loop over and over again because you're choosing that scene over and over again. That's effectively your end over and over again. So you are living that entire movie over and over again. It's a very short movie, right? But they loop until you decide to choose something else. And what was written for you from the very beginning is that I am. my desired end and every other end, right? So your specific person is just another mirror, right? They are a mirror. No matter how much you love them, you have an endless love for everything, right? Because you are everything and you are endlessly loved. Your specific person isn't out there. They are just a reflection of your internal casting choice. Like, I am love. I'm choosing to spend my physical unfolding as love with this version of reality, with this version of that specific person, because that's what's resonating with me. That specific person I know is consciousness, the same consciousness that I am manifested as them, the same consciousness that is manifested as me, the same consciousness that is manifested as a reality we were together. I am aware of this existing. I choose that I'm just going to be that identity who is assuming that I am reality, and then that my choice is what's unfolding, and I'm going to let it go to my higher self. I'm just going to be that character in my assumption that no matter what I do or don't do, it's who I'm resonating with being. I assume who I'm being is unfolding. That's it, right? And if you're emailing them who doesn't show up in the way that you desire, don't hold on to that. Just I am in my end and keep going forward. Don't do anything. Don't do anything with it. There's nothing you can do about it. You can't change that scene. You can only choose it again and again and again. Stop. Or don't. Up to you. Loop until truth. Sometimes you do hear the same stories. Yeah? You see the same faces, same comments, same doubts. It doesn't end, right? It's the same thing with me. If I'm a teacher of this stuff, I will have an endless supply of students. That's how reality works, right? You have an endless supply for what you are being. That's how reality works, because I couldn't be the identity of a teacher if there were no students to learn. But because there's an endless amount to learn, there's an endless amount to teach. So there'll be an endless amount of experiencing myself as the version that I choose to be. So if you're choosing I am not, there'll be an endless amount of ignored emails, basically. Right? And you don't have to fix any of it. Just remember, it just exists right now in an infinite number of ways. That's why you can experience it infinite number of times. So the final final part of this is that you can't act out the ending from the middle. But the middle doesn't cancel the ending. No matter what happens in the middle, your ending is assured, because the writer is your higher self that knows everything, that can fit it all into perfection. Yeah, I didn't know what word was going to come out, and it just blurted. Anyway, it's already written, right? Your job is to just trust the script, show up, and be that person. And even sometimes you have an off day, you say, okay, I had an off day. That day is gone. If that version of me that had an off day, they did already. Dead and gone. I'm not going to repeat that. I'm going to choose again, go forward in my assumption that I am already who I desire to be, and this is the script that's unfolding perfectly. But the rest is handled by what you already are conscious of being. Reality. And that I am wrote this play from the very start, and I get to choose the direction of the unfolding of my linear experience of everything that is happening now. That's reality. That's my manifesting a specific person. Hope that covers up quite a few questions that you may have. Feel free to ask me more in the comment section. Thank you for liking, subscribing, following, and sharing. TikTok page as well up. People are doing the same. I love you very much. Thank you, truly. People are joining the Facebook group and doing the same thing there. Much love, much appreciation, love and light to you all. If you want to ask me something, please feel free to email me. Description is in the box below. That being said, love and light, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.